Sometimes we work with images that are simply too small or too low quality for our needs. This is where upscaling comes in. With the Magnific Upscaler, we can take very small files, sometimes around 50 kilobytes, and bring them to a much higher resolution, improving detail, texture, and overall usability. There are different ways to access the upscaler. The first one is from Home. At the top of the interface, where all the tools are listed, you'll find Image Upscaler. The second way to access the upscaler is through History. Select any image you've already created, and on the right side panel, you'll find the Upscale button. Clicking it takes you to the same Magnific Upscaler interface. And there you'll see two tabs within Upscale, Creative and Precision. Once inside, you can load images from History or upload files directly from your computer, just like we did in previous episodes. Before looking at specific examples, let's review the difference between the two modes. Creative mode is ideal for illustrations, products, textures, landscapes, and stylized images. It gives the model more freedom to reinterpret and enhance detail in a more artistic way. Precision mode focuses on accuracy and structure. It's especially effective at preserving identity and detail, making it ideal for realistic photography, portraits, and faces. Both modes can upscale any image. The difference is how much creative freedom you give the model during the process. Now let's start with creative mode. We'll begin with a low-resolution image of a perfume bottle with flowers. The file is very small and lacks usable detail. After uploading it, the first option we see is the model selector. Right now there are two options, Magnific and Classic. Magnific is the most powerful one, and it's the model we recommend using in most cases. Below that, we have presets. Presets automatically adjust the sliders for you, so you don't need to fine-tune everything manually. You'll see options like subtle, vivid, wild, and custom. With custom, all values start neutral, giving you full control over the sliders. Next is the scale factor. This determines how much the image will be enlarged. Depending on the original size, you'll see options like 2 times, 4 times, 8 times, or 16 times. The available options depend on your original image size, since the system limits the final result to about 10,000 pixels on the longest side. On the right, there's another drop-down that helps guide the upscaling process based on content type. You'll find options such as portraits, art and illustration, gaming, nature and landscapes, film and photography, 3D renders, and science fiction or horror. Leaving it on the default option works much like auto in other tools. Now let's go through the creative sliders. Creativity controls how much the model can reinterpret details. Higher values add more complexity and texture, but can also introduce unexpected results. Lower values stay closer to the original image. HDR increases contrast and definition, but very high values can make the image look artificial or introduce visual artifacts. Resemblance determines how closely the output follows the original image, with higher values preserving more of its appearance. Lower values give the model more freedom, which can be useful, but may move further from the original image. Fractality controls how much fine detail is added per pixel. Lower values result in cleaner, simpler results. Higher values increase micro detail and can work well for artistic or fantasy-style images. The goal is to experiment until you find the balance that fits your image. Below the sliders, you'll find Engine. Here you have 3 options, Illuso, Sharpie, and Sparkle. Illuso works well for illustration and helps reduce JPEG artifacts. Sharpie increases crispness, though it can also emphasize compression artifacts. Sparkle is the most balanced option overall. If you prefer not to overthink this step, leaving Engine on automatic is a solid choice. Okay, now back to our perfume example. Because this image has reflections, glass, and floral textures, let's use creative mode here. We keep the preset on custom, set the scale factor to 8x, move our sliders like this, leave the rest on automatic, and click upscale. Now we can clearly see the difference. Textures are richer, edges are clearer, and the image is now large enough for professional use. Let's try another creative example. This time a small photo of a woman holding a bouquet of flowers. At its original size, it's not suitable for any project. We stay in creative mode, set the scale factor to 8x, and choose a guide like film and photography to subtly guide the result. Engine stays on automatic, and we'll move the sliders again to aim for a result that stays close to our image. Once ready, we'll click Upscale. The result gives us more detail and a much more usable image size. And this is exactly what upscaling is meant to do, bring small, low-quality images back to life. Now let's move to Precision mode. Precision is designed to preserve structure and remain faithful to the original image, which makes it especially well suited for realistic photography and skin tones. We'll start with a low-quality photo of a sporty woman wearing glasses. The file is small and lacks detail. At the top, you'll see 4 model options. Sublime is the most versatile option and gives a subtle creative touch. It's a strong default choice in most cases. Photo is the most faithful to the original and is a favourite for photographers. It adds resolution without creative reinterpretation. Photo denoiser works similarly to photo mode, but includes additional noise reduction. High HDR is the original precision model, producing a stronger style look that can be useful in certain situations, such as images with flat lighting, where you want more contrast and punch. Below that, you'll find presets like balanced, portraits, and grainy analog. Just like we saw before, these presets will adjust the sliders automatically. You'll also see the scale factor here, which can go up to 16 times depending on the original image size. Precision mode includes 3 main sliders, although with the Sublime model you'll only see the first 2. Sharpness enhances edges and textures. Higher values improve clarity, but too much can make the image look artificial. Grain helps preserve a natural photographic texture. Low values work well for realism, while higher values add a more experimental look. Setting it to 0 is best for very clean or vector-style images. Ultra detail boosts fine detail and focus. Higher values can introduce halos or contrast shifts, so moderation is key here. For our portrait example, we choose V2 Sublime because it performs best overall. We'll keep the preset on balanced, add a small amount of sharpness, keep grain very low, and click Upscale. Comparing the results side by side, we see cleaner facial features, better definition, and a much larger image. Let's try one more precision example. This time we're using a character toy figure that sits somewhere between illustration and 3D. Even though creative mode would also work, we'll use precision to show that both approaches can be effective. We stay on Sublime, set sharpness to around 18, grain to 0, and click Upscale. The result is sharper, more defined, and finally at a usable size. The main takeaway is simple. There's no single correct recipe. Each image responds differently, and the best results come from testing combinations until you find what fits your content and your goal. Now that you understand how creative and precision behave, you can choose the right approach and confidently upscale your images. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.